What a week it was in the Upshot League. We had buzzer beaters, we had overtime, we had the Savannah Steel snapping the longest losing streak in the Upshot League. So good to talk to you here on this fine Monday on Action Sports Jackson. So excited to be joined by our first guest from the aforementioned Savannah Steel. It's Lauryn Taylor, a mainstay in this inaugural season of the Upshot League. Lauryn, thank you so much for hanging out with us. First things first, congratulations. How did it feel to finally get that dub over the weekend?
First, I want to say thank you so much for having me, but it definitely was a good feeling. It was good to finally just get out of that little slump that we've been in for a while. It reminded us of who we are and why we're here and how we get to compete every single night. So it was really good just for the camaraderie of the team and just the energy overall.
This Savannah Steel team has seen plenty of transactions, plenty of roster fluctuation. You have been a mainstay since the initial roster. Let's go back to the beginning of your Upshot League season before we go back to your basketball journey, Lauryn, as we do with each and every one of our guests here on Talk It Up, talking all things Upshot League basketball and women's sports. Why did you want to be a part of this inaugural season of the Upshot League?
I wanted to be a part of this because I feel like it's a great opportunity that people before me didn't have. And so I felt like it'll be a missed opportunity for myself, for me not to take advantage. We all know what it's like being professional athletes and how hard it is to have to navigate the world of going overseas, trying to play professionally in the States, and just having the opportunity to play in front of friends and family and fans that would never have this opportunity. Being as it is now before this Upshot League, it was just something I couldn't pass up on. So I really just saw it as a good way for me to just stay at home and play basketball and do what I love. And it's over the summer. I really don't do much over the summer, so can't beat that.
Our VP of basketball operations, Taj McWilliams Franklin, told me a little bit, but I'm excited to hear your version of the story of how did you first get contacted? How did you first contact the Upshot League about taking part in this first season?
So when I first heard about it, I was not familiar with what the Upshot League was at all. And I heard about it through a friend of a friend. So they were just like, oh, are you interested in the Upshot League? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know what that is. But after a while, the coaches and the coaching staff reached out to me. And once I got more information, I was super excited because I'd been connected with some of the people who were here helping start the league up, specifically here in Savannah, but overall. And so after doing my own research and then completing my overseas season, I came for a training camp. And honestly, being quite frank, it's better than what I expected because, like I said, I had a little bit of information coming into it. But yeah, I was super excited once I heard about the opportunity to play at home. So yeah.
I know Taj said that for you, there were a couple moments there where you were like, hey, I made the roster. And they were like, yeah, She's a hooper. Of course she made the roster.
For sure.
But blessed to be a part of this first ever Upshot League season. Lauryn, your basketball journey, of course, born in Blythewood, South Carolina. Where does your basketball journey, let's go all the way back, where does it begin?
My journey actually begins when I was around like 5 or 6. My dad is a former professional athlete himself, and he played at Villanova. And so just being around basketball and just watching it on the TV, I always knew I wanted to play. I didn't know what that looked like at the time. But it really started then. I didn't really play organized basketball until middle school, high school. And yeah, it just took off from there. I really realized that I wanted to see how far I could go with basketball itself. Like coming up, we don't always hear enough about women's journeys in sports. We only see them get to the top, but we don't see what that looks like. And so I kind of like honed in on my own personal journey and just took it from there.
High school recruiting. Describe your experience looking to play at the collegiate level.
So my experience was a little different than a lot of the people that I'm surrounded by now. When I was in high school, like I said, I didn't know what it looked like going to college. I didn't know that it was an opportunity that I could achieve myself. So I was really close with my coaching staff at my high school, and we just talked about what my journey would look like compared to others. And so I really wanted to go to a place where I felt like I fit and where I could actually make an impact versus being another number. And so that's how I ended up going to Division II. And it was probably the best thing I've ever done for my career. I feel like I was in this place I was supposed to be at, and I was able to flourish in a place that was built for me, and I was able to grow within that. And not only did I grow myself, I feel like I grew basketball at that specific school at Francis Marion. Even just Division II basketball, I was nationally recognized for things that a lot of people don't hear about, and so I put us on the map a little bit. And then from there, I went to Florida Gulf Coast, which was it's obviously a great choice. It's actually one of my dream schools before in high school. And so I had the opportunity to play for some amazing coaches and meet some cool people. So yeah, it was just fun all around.
Noah, let's not bury the lead. Let's pull up that second picture, producer Noah, from Lauryn's time at Francis Marion. I mean, if this isn't tough, I don't know. Oh no, the other. Let's go back to the other one. The other one where we got the piece of paper being held up. I don't know if there's anything tougher than this one. It is the one.
I gotta pull that one up. Hold on.
Okay, as Noah is looking for it, Lauryn, let's talk a little bit more about Francis Marion. Why was Francis Marion the right pick for you at the Division II level?
It was the right pick for me because I had the staff all around was just they really poured into me. So when I went on my visit, it just felt like home. It felt like I was around people who didn't want to use me as a transaction. They wanted to use me as a person. They wanted to get to know me. And so I really just had the opportunity to just hone in on my own personal skills while also getting the work-life balance that I needed at that time. And so that's why I feel like I was able to flourish so much, because it was just a good way for me to have the relationships and have the experiences all in one. And so, yeah, I really wanted to go to a place where, like I said, I didn't feel like a number, where I could make an impact, and that I did. So, yeah.
Okay, so I figured out the issue we've got right now. Producer Noah, I don't know if you can actually scroll this photo up. You can't see it from this photo, from this image right now. For those of you watching us live on YouTube and wherever you catch this show on Action Sports Jacks, there it is. Look at that. A 44, much like, I don't know, Kobe Bryant, Devin Booker, Bam Adebayo. That's all on the scoring front. Lauryn Taylor, 44 rebounds in a single game. Take us back to that night. Take us back to, you noted, Lauryn, that you've put Francis Marion on the map. You did things that no one at the Division I level was doing. Yeah, this is what we were talking about, folks. She's being very humble. Take us back to that game in particular. Was there something different in the Wheaties that morning, or is this just who you were?
Actually, that game was a rescheduled game. We all know COVID and just different things going on at that time. So we actually rescheduled that game, and it was just an off night. We weren't even supposed to have practice that day, but we ended up having the game. And in that game, I kind of walked into it knowing it was going to be a good game. 44 rebounds, though, no. I don't know what got into me and what was in the Gatorade that day, but I was just wanting. I always want to touch the ball, and I really feel like rebounding is the only way you can control when and how you touch the ball. And so I just went after it that day. And when I was in the game, I knew that I had broke the school record, but I didn't know until maybe like 30 minutes after the game that I broke the national record. And so it was just a really surreal moment, but it's still probably one of the best games I've ever had. One of the best days I've had in my career.
By the way, producer Noah, when I told him that a few months ago when we started the Upshot League season and we started talking up here on Action Sports Jacks, he was like, there's no way. There's no way. 44 in a single game? I said, oh, you better believe it. And while maybe you're not averaging 44 in this inaugural season of the Upshot League, Lauryn Taylor, at the same time, banging on the boards is a part of your game. How would you describe your game and what position you play? I didn't even know whether to introduce you as a guard, as a post. Like, you kind of do a little bit of everything. You could guard 1 through 5, one of these positionless players.
I would say pretty much what you just said. I'm pretty positionless. Honestly, right now, I love my role. I love being a utility player who can get out there and do everything to just make sure that the team wins and, just produce in things that don't always show up on the stat sheet. So, like, I'm really focused on rebounding. I focus on being a tough, gritty player. I do whatever my coach and my team needs from me in the moment. So, yeah.
Let's go to Florida Gulf Coast, where you transferred to for your grad year after spending 4 seasons at Francis Marion at the Division II level. You noted it. It was a dream school for you coming out of high school. What was it about FGCU? Everyone thinks about the reigning threes, but why for you was it the right fit for that final season of college?
Well, being that I spent 4 years at Francis Marion before that, I only had one shot to do something big at the Division I level. And everybody knows at that level, everybody wants to make it to March Madness. And that's just a dream of everyone's. And so I really focused on, in my recruiting process, going to the best school for that best opportunity, but also for me to produce and to show up in March Madness. And so just having the opportunity to learn from an all-time great coach, Coach Carl Semesco, who is now the Atlanta Dreams head coach. That's something you couldn't even dream of, honestly. No pun intended. But I really wanted to, like I said, go to a school that I feel like I had the best chance to not only grow within myself, but grow within the game. I think my role changed, and I was able to see basketball from a very different perspective. And I was just so grateful for that. And all the connections that also come with FGCU. It's a school that holds a lot of weight when you hear the name. And so it's just I was blessed to be able to wear such a, to me, important jersey in women's basketball. So yeah.
It really is. I mean, and especially now, I mean, let's talk a little hoop here. Like with Carl coaching the Atlanta Dream and down also in South Florida, but in Tampa Town with Jose Fernandez now coaching the Dallas Wings. It's like, hey, you know what? We've been playing some pretty good mid-major basketball in the state of Florida these last few decades. And now finally the rest of the world gets to see the work of those great men and coaches that they brought along with them to the WNBA. And so before we put the bow on the FGCU part of your story, Lauryn Taylor, what was the greatest lesson that you learned from Carl, Chelsea, the rest of the staff down there?
The greatest lesson that I will say is they really taught me how to be a student of the game. I've never been around people that were so brilliant in basketball. And so seeing how much work they put in, not necessarily on the court, but just the way that they analyze film, the way that they, talk about basketball, the types of people that they talk to, and the fact that they, at such a high level, have mentors themselves. Like I said, it just really taught me how to be a student of the game and to learn more about myself in different positions. So I didn't look at basketball. I have not looked at basketball the same since being there. They taught me so much just about the game and about the IQ and everything. So that would be the best thing and the biggest thing I've taken from there.
As Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen likes to say about his time with Sean McVay and the Rams on the NFL side, he got his PhD out there. Your PhD came courtesy of the good folks down there at Florida Gulf Coast. And so you wrap up your college career, Lauryn, after 5 seasons in 2025. Where to next? Does basketball immediately transition to the pro level for you?
Yeah, so I ended up going overseas to Europe, and I played in Romania this past season. And there I was able to do some pretty good things there as well, put up some good numbers, averaging a double-double. And that season ended, and now I'm here at the Upshot League. So I took advantage of that, like I said, being able to play at home, but obviously continuing my career to play overseas and play at the highest level that I can. And I feel like the Upshot League really helps elevate my game and also elevate my exposure. And so, yeah, from here right now, I'm signed to go play in Israel in this upcoming season starting in September. And then from there, we'll see where it goes.
Lauryn Taylor averaging close to 9 points, 6 boards a contest here in this first season of the Upshot League, 40+% from the floor. And again, you're not a traditional forward, you're not a traditional guard. And so it's incredible to get to watch you play. I would, if there's a comp for fans who are listening to this program who maybe follow the Waves here locally in Jacksonville. I mean, you and Taylor Soule kind of have that similar body type and that similar makeup when it comes to being a spark plug off the bench, but being able to guard 1 through 5 and certainly shoot the basketball, step out a little bit in addition to banging downstairs. Of course, you will visit the Jacksonville Waves. We're very excited, and I'm very excited to be on the call this upcoming Wednesday. Then that series will shift back to M Market Arena for the regular season home finale for the Steel. Describe, though, let's go back to this past weekend, because it has to be a momentum moment for the Savannah Steel to, after losing yet again by 4. I feel like you guys, it's been so close. That's what has made this even crazier. It is not like the Savannah Steel in this double-digit game losing streak. It wasn't like you guys were getting blown out. You lose by 4 on Friday night to Greensboro. You turn around and you win it by a score of 74-72. Momentum-wise, how do you build off of what you guys put out on the floor this past weekend?
I think this weekend, the win this past weekend was really just a reminder, like I said, of who we are and how we're able to string along some good possessions, string along some wins from here, hopefully, to end the season strong. It really helps with the camaraderie and the energy and the confidence in the locker room. It always starts from our head coach, though. Coach T really does a good job of empowering us to believe that we're supposed to be here, to believe that we're able to win every game. It doesn't matter if we do get blown out by 40 or if we win by 40. It's just about being where our feet are and having that mental capacity to be able to compete. I think that this losing streak has been very telling of our season, in the sense of we've had a lot of adversity, we've had a lot of changes, we've we've gone through a lot, being that it's an inaugural season, but also it's new for everybody involved. And so I don't really think that the win and loss column is indicative of how good of a team we are. I just think that it very much shows what basketball is like, and it's just how it goes. But I think coming from a win this past weekend and using that momentum to finish the season is really important for us. And we're just going to keep working hard to make sure that no matter what, win or lose, that we put our best product out every time.
All right, now this is going to be me, play-by-play announcer Mia, putting my hat on and maybe doing a little bit of scouting ahead of Wednesday's game, a little bit of prep. Tell us a little bit about some of the newcomers that you guys have added to the Savannah Steel roster, especially with Olivia Cochran headed out on international duty and a couple other players that you've had to replace their spot on the roster here in the last 2-3 weeks or so.
So our team, as you just said, has had a lot of changes in terms of people leaving for their other engagements or just people coming in. I will say with all of our newcomers, they have been so good at adapting on the fly. This is not an easy position to be in for anyone to have to come in and learn a whole new system, learn new players and stuff. But we're able to have players like JJ Quinterly, who we know has been in the W and has had her opportunity at that level and can make some noise. She comes in and she just brings in just such a spark offensively and defensively. We just have guards and people who come in and can make an impact immediately. So you'll see this week as you see on Wednesday, but we're just able to string along. We've been able to put people into positions to be able to help us win. So coming up this upcoming week, we'll see how that looks. Obviously going against Jacksonville, which is a big opponent for us. But I think like what you said, with the people that we do have and with the pieces that we do still have from before, it shouldn't be a problem.
And, of course, you guys then will shift the series back home for the final 2 regular season games at M Market Arena in Savannah, Georgia. Any last words to the audience, to those Steel fans out there, why they should come on out and catch these final 2 games of the 2026 season, Lauryn?
I think you should come out because, listen, summer is almost over. You know, there's not a lot of opportunities to see some good basketball. So I think just coming out and enjoying just good competition and just good basketball this weekend can really put a smile on a lot of people's faces. Win or lose, we always bring the energy. We always bring the camaraderie and the competitiveness. So I think it's just a good opportunity to be able to support something bigger than yourself. The Upshot League, sadly, this inaugural season is coming to an end, but just to still be a part of something that's growing, you can't beat it. So come see us, come check us out.
We are indeed going to be locked in. M Market Arena in Savannah, Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, and of course, VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena here in Jacksonville will all be hosting games this final week of the regular season in the Upshot League. Lauryn, thank you so much for taking time to join us here on Talk It Up. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
There she is, Lauryn Taylor, the pride of Francis Marion, FGCU. When we return, we will run through the rest of the highlights in the week that was in the Upshot League, the scores, the stats, so much more. Look at this again, folks. Noah, I know, you didn't believe me when I told you the first time. 44 rebounds in a single game. She is playing in Jacksonville on Wednesday night, folks. Come on out and see it. We'll be right back on Action Sports Jacks.
Nimnicht is synonymous with Jacksonville, and now in 2026, Nimnicht is celebrating 85 years of partnerships with you. Longevity equals trust, and you want a car dealership you can trust. Thousands of vehicles sold, generations of families, all part of the Nimnicht family of dealerships. My family has been part of the Nimnicht family for almost 20 of those 85 years, and I've told you about all the different vehicles that we've purchased. But it's not about the cars and the trucks. It's about the service and also the Nimnicht relationships that expand all around the community.
Congratulations to Jordan Matthews, our committed to the uncommitted player of the year.
Nobody but Nimnicht. They are there for you and your causes, your car buying experience, and they are there for you 24 hours a day at NimnichtBuickGMC.com. Experience professional grade with big inventory and even bigger savings. And Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Nobody but Nimnicht for 85 years. This milestone belongs to you, Jacksonville.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to easily access Action News Jacks now using your Roku device. First, launch Roku. Next, use the menu list to scroll down to the search feature. Then, use the remote to enter Action News Jacks into the search bar, and then click Action News Jacks thumbnail. Once you see this screen, go ahead and select Add App. Wait a few seconds for it to install. Once it finishes installing, press the star button on your remote and click on Move App or Move App to the top. Finally, select the app back on your home screen to open it. Now you can watch all the great content on Action News Jax Now.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com. It's the Kingfish Tournament for the entire family. The 2026 Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. Cash payouts to the top 25 places, lady and junior angler divisions, no bait buying, and limited boundaries. It's June 13th, and right now get early entry for $250 until May 31st. OldSchoolKingfish.com for all the details. First place prize is a $130,000 Yellowfin hybrid boat. It's the 2026 Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin.
What a week it was in the Upshot League. Second to last regular season week in this inaugural season. We have the highlights. We have the best moments from the nail-biting finishes beginning in Bojangles Coliseum. Kayla Pointer with 3.5 on the clock, the game winner Thursday night. And after an overnight bus ride following that 90-80 wire-to-wire win on Wednesday, she almost did it again on Saturday with 21.6 left. Kayla Pointer ties it up. We had to go to the social low camera video for this one, though, because Shaquille Nunn, I know there's no audio, you can feel on Space Jam night in Charlotte, North Carolina, the energy as the Crown get one back and they win 99-94 in OT. How about across the state in Greensboro, regular season home finale, Tayana Jones-Bell, Sahara Jones put on a show. Both had double-doubles in Game 1 on Friday night. Of course, Sahara Jones also top 5 in rebounding in the Upshot League this season. And so it's a 4-point win on Friday. Would they be able to pull off the weekend series sweep? 3:43 remaining. Jessica Timmons splash stays hot. That pushes the Groove in front 70-69 over the visiting Savannah Steel. But Nudie Jenkins, Lauryn Taylor, who you just heard from, never give up. The turnaround Jay proves to be the difference maker as Savannah finally gets off the schneid and finally snaps that losing streak. They win it 74-72 as we do take a look at the most updated standings, or rather the scoreboard. Let's start with scoreboard. Good call, Noah. I wrote that down in the rundown, I'm pretty sure. Let's start with the scoreboard. The week that was, again, Jacksonville wire-to-wire win over the Greensboro Groove, 90-80 at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. For the first time and only time this year, they took an overnight bus up I-95 to Charlotte. That was always going to be a difficult turnaround. Kayla Pointer made it look easy. 78-76, the Waves get the win. Of course, the Crown got their lick back in OT on Saturday. But how about the Savannah Steel, the Greensboro Groove, a great series there in Greensboro, ultimately with Savannah pulling off its first win in 14 tries. To our scoring leaders, not a whole heck of a lot has changed since we last brought you these stat leaders. Deja Kelly continues to pace the Upshot League with 17.8 points per game. And despite being limited with injuries here in the month of August, Diamond Johnson checks in at second with 16 per contest. Shaquille Nunn inching closer and closer to averaging a double-double in 2026. She is averaging 10 boards a contest. And there is, at number 4, our first guest on today's episode of Talk It Up, Lauryn Taylor, who has also cracked the top 5 in rebounding. As we now do take a look at those all-important standings. Already, the Jacksonville Waves, the Charlotte Crown, have clinched spots in the championship game, which we'll tell you about here in just a little bit. Greensboro, Savannah, their seasons will end later this week. but what a year it was, and what a championship game we have coming. Because technically, producer Noah, as we welcome you back, oh, there it is. Let's talk about it. The Upshot League championship game taking place August 29th at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Excuse me. Our championship game will feature the Jacksonville Waves and the Charlotte Crown in a rematch of the first ever in league history back in May. You can get your tickets now at upshotleague.com/tickets. Season ticket holders for all of the founding 4 teams have already received special access from their ticket reps. As we welcome you back into Action Sports Jax 24/7 studios. Would you look at that? Would you look at that?
Yeah, I'm nervous now.
Listen, what is funny is you have a 2-game lead over me in our picks, which of course we pick 3 games in the Upshot League this upcoming week. We pick 3 games in the WNBA, and the Jacksonville Waves have a 3-game lead over the Charlotte Crown. So slightly more than Noah does when it comes to our weekly pick standings over the Charlotte Crown. And so technically, if they were to lose out and Charlotte was to win out, that is where we would have a situation where the Waves would no longer be in that 1 seed spot. The game is, of course, taking place here in Jacksonville, but a neutral site. Noah is 31-25 with his picks this year. I am finally over the hump after a 5-1 week. I sit at 29-27. Technically, Noah, this is our last week of picks. We could probably make some WNBA picks next week, but this is our last week of having Upshot League regular season games and WNBA regular season games. Who is on the docket this week? Let's all find out together, beginning in the W. Oh, man, don't worry. We're going to reserve some time at the end to talk about the Atlanta Dreams finish on Sunday against the Indiana Fever, as we always do. Our first game to pick, they are squaring off with the Las Vegas Aces. Quick turnaround, headed out to Sin City today to face Asia Wilson and friends. Who do you have in this Tuesday night tilt, Noah?
I saw the other night Candace Parker's speech. She called Asia Wilson the GOAT for a reason. That's why I'm going with Las Vegas.
I will also go with the Aces. I know we're not going to like that because, of course, Noah was trying to go Oppo Taco with me last week in order to pick up some ground and try to throw me off, and then he did that, and then I ended up picking up those dubs. But I will follow you with the Aces because I do think that they are playing great basketball right now, and I ultimately think this is a 2.5 horse race to make the WNBA title game. It's the Lynx, it's the Aces, and if all things go according to plan, the Indiana Fever. We also have the Lynx and the Valkyries on Wednesday nights. The Valkyries are technically in 3rd place in the standings. Maybe they have something to say about what I just mentioned, Noah, about championship game contenders. Who do you have in this one?
I got the Lynx. They've been kind to me, I feel like, in picks this year. Great team, have been since the beginning. Valkyrie's obviously a quality side, but we'll go with the road upset, or at least the road win for the Lynx in this one.
I want to take the Valkyries in this one, not just because I just knocked some slander around the program on one Natalie Nakase's team, but because they actually are now in 2nd place. They're 3.5 games back of the Lynx. The Aces are 5 games back. So that, coupled with the fact that they are 8-2 in their last 10 games, they have won 5 straight. Gimme the Valks.
All right.
In this one. And then, of course, on Thursday, the rematch of last Thursday's affair at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It shifts now to American Airlines Arena in Dallas. The Fever, the Wings, AZ Fudd probably going to play. Jess Shepard maybe going to play. Does that impact who you pick in this one, Noah?
I feel like I'm going to go wrong either way because I feel like if I pick against Dallas, they win. If I pick Dallas, they lose. So either way, congrats, Mia. You make up a game. I'm going with the Fever. Just out of spite towards the Wings.
Good.
Right now.
I was going to pick the Wings anyways, just because Indiana is amidst their longest road trip of the year, a 5-game road swing that they are currently on a flight, or they were on a flight last night. Thank you to Maisha Hines-Allen, Josh Hines-Allen's sister, for letting us know on IG. They made it to Toronto from Atlanta. Then they got to go to Dallas. Then they got to go to Minnesota. It's like the dumbest road trip of all time. It makes for a great graphic, though. Shout out John Nolan, voice of the Fever. Let's look at our 3-pack of picks in the Upshot League before we welcome in our next guest. Let's start with Wednesday night tilt between the Steel and the Waves. Who do you have in this one, Noah?
We're going with the Waves. Home against the Steel, trying to build some momentum going into that championship. Going to go ahead and pick Jacksonville.
I will also, mostly because coming off of that disappointing overtime loss, Jess Bogie is going to have that crew ready to rumble. The Steel will play one at home on Friday against the Crown before welcoming the Waves in for a pair over the weekend. Charlotte or Savannah Friday night, Noah?
We'll go ahead and go Charlotte. Pick with Jasmine Roberts for this one.
Okay, let's also go to Friday. I'm going to also go with Charlotte. I'm going to go with Charlotte there. And it's tough because I do want to see Savannah win a game at home at Market Arena before the season wraps up, but it's not going to be that one because Charlotte, something to prove after their 12-game win streak was snapped by the Jacksonville Waves last Thursday. And finally, the Groove at the Crown on Saturday. Who do you have in this one, Noah?
Going to be the Crown again. They're going to come out fired up after that winning streak was snapped, and after that loss, they're going to come out and take care of business this week.
I'm going to give Janice a little love. Our friend Janice Washington, the head coach of the Greensboro Groove. Give me the Groove, who did look very much in sync against Savannah over the weekend. And for more on that series, I should say, let's take one more break, Noah. And then when we come back, we will be joined by the head coach of the Savannah Steel, Toccara Ross, straight ahead here on Talk It Up on Action Sports Jax.
Nimnicht is synonymous with Jacksonville, and now in 2026, Nimnicht is celebrating 85 years of partnerships with you. Longevity equals trust, and you want a car dealership you can trust. Thousands of vehicles sold, generations of families, all part of the Nimnicht family of dealerships. My family has been part of the Nimnicht family for almost 20 of those 85 years, and I've told you about all the different vehicles that we've purchased. But it's not about the cars and the trucks. It's about the service and also the Nimnicht relationships that expand all around the community.
Congratulations to Jordan Matthews, our committed to the uncommitted player of the year.
Nobody but Nimnicht. They are there for you and your causes, your car buying experience, and they are there for you 24 hours a day at NimnichtBuickGMC.com. Experience professional grade with big inventory and even bigger savings. And Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Nobody but Nimnicht for 85 years. This milestone belongs to you, Jacksonville.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
It can be a silent killer, but awareness is getting louder. Blood clots take more lives each year than car crashes. And just like driving, you have to be defensive. A few easy ways to protect yourself or someone you love are to learn your Caprini risk score and ask your doctor about your blood clot prevention plan. Emily's Promise is a local nonprofit named for Emily Atkins, a young woman from Fernandina Beach who died after a preventable blood clot following a broken ankle. Her legacy is now driving change across Florida. The Emily Atkins Family Protection Act strengthens how hospitals screen for clot risks and train staff to recognize warning signs. Blood clots can affect anyone, including athletes, and the signs can be easy to miss. So be aware, be defensive, and help beat a silent killer with loud attention to risk factors and symptoms. Learn more at emilypromises.com. That's emilypromises.com.
We've been telling you about the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network for over a year now. How to find it, what to see. Simply put, it's TV online. Local sports content all day, every day. Just like this.
Did you always want to make history? Like, think that big, or just say, hey, I want to play in the NFL?
I always say I wanted to play in the NFL.
That's it. Back to her left side, takes a shot, and into the back of the net.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh, my goodness.
What a pass.
Say he doesn't make a tackle, you still feel like his presence is felt in every single play.
I did have a sense that they wanted to be bold, that they wanted to make a splash.
It's content you won't find on TV. Find it on actionsportsjax.com and just sit back and watch local sports all day on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Most of us know how to throw. but you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to Action Sports Jacks and Talk It Up. Excited to be joined by the head coach of the Savannah Steel. Thank you, Toccara Ross, so much for waiting. I do have to start this interview with this, Coach Ross. Young Noah, our producer, who is working so diligently in the other room, welcomes you into the screen, says, okay, she's good to go. And then he does his little preliminary research, and then he goes, oh, no, we got a cyclone here? We got an Iowa State cyclone here?
We definitely have an Iowa State cyclone, so don't say nothing slick. Because we about that at in Ames, Iowa.
Nothing like go Hawks.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
You want a little smoke already, and we're only 30 seconds in?
Welcome to the show, Coach.
What's up? What's up? Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. We appreciate you taking time. Of course, fresh off of the first victory in a month plus for the Savannah Steel. I know it must have felt great. We're going to talk all about it. I should note, young producer Noah is from Iowa originally. I covered both
some Iowa love there. Yeah.
Yes. He is from the Quad Cities. I covered both Lisa Bluter and Bill Fenley's programs. And, of course, our shout out to Tanya Warren and the Northern Iowa Panthers as well. And I did cover Jenny Baranchik and Drake a little bit as well. So that is where...
There's some deep love there, Noah. I went to Davenport Central. That's where I graduated. So
how about that? My mom coached there for a bit.
Oh, wow.
See?
I knew there was some love. It's going to stay love as long as you don't say go Hawks.
I love it. I love it. I know that our Upshot League staff, all listening and watching this live, are getting an absolute kick out of it. Let's go back to, well, first and foremost, let's not go back to the Iowa State days. We're going to go to it. I promise. We're going to talk about Bill and the influence that Coach Fenley and company had on you, Toccara, and, of course, your 15-year playing career. But let's start with that win over the weekend. What did it mean to this squad that has been so close and finally got over the hump?
First of all, won't you do it? Because we needed that. Anybody who knows and has watched the season, and I think there's no shortage of the fact that we are just giving it our all every day. And I am so proud of them. Nobody likes to lose. And at the end of the day, we have been doing our best to put the best on the floor as we can all year with phenomenal players that have been given the opportunity to do this. So we are very excited. Janice is amazing. It was such a competitive game. So I'm very glad that we were able to pull up the win, and they needed it. It was a sigh of relief in the locker room to just be like, hey, we earned that one.
As a head coach, let alone the fact that you became the head coach midway through the season, but also the fact that this team has had so many roster transactions, Toccara.
Yeah.
That, I think, almost makes it mean almost a little bit more, just because of the additional adversity in terms of roster fluctuation you guys have been through. As both the head coach and the GM, describe what you've learned most in this inaugural Upshot League season.
The biggest thing that I've learned is probably first and foremost that you can't do this alone. There has been so many, upon the transition, after the transition, so many of the coaches in the league, the front office, of just like, what do you need? How can we help you? And the community itself and what you need. And I think at the end of the day, we want to put the best players on the court, and we want to represent Savannah to the best of our ability. And anybody who knows this game knows that roster transactions happen all the time. So we are doing our best to continue just to provide a space for not only these players to develop, but to get them prepared for the next phase of career, which for most of them is Europe. So it has been a bit of adversity, but it's also been really fun. I feel like I've been up front and personal and close look at what it's like to develop in real time as a head coach. And I'm just grateful for the support that I have to be able to do that and the opportunity.
Because had you been a head coach before July of 2026, Toccara?
So I had not been a head coach officially. The last 2 years I had been in the NBA coaching development programs. Part of that work is they put you in head coaching experiences. So I have been a head coach in that official capacity. The NBA has put me in really awesome positions to head coach some of the best talent in the world, and that has been at the G League Elite Camp, that has been at the NBA Combine. So I have been prepped and ready when my numbers is ready to be called, and here I am showing what I can do. I'm grateful for the Upshot League to trust me in that capacity.
And of course, that experience came on the heels of a 15-year international pro career. How much for you to relate to your players, but also, I would assume, as the GM of the Savannah Steel, how much has your experience overseas played a role in not only connecting with members of the Steel, but also in the recruitment process?
Yeah, I'm super grateful that I was able to go in my bag and just be able to, the availability of players to be able to call agents and call players and make that instant connections. A lot of part of our roster when building it with the former head coach is because of our connections and our ability to have played at such a high level. And just being a player's coach, I think I have really had to lean into that because I know what it's like. Very short-lived career in the sense of I was just there. So I'm super grateful that I'm able to have those kind of almost vet-like talks with them, and then to be able to trust me. So that ability to be able to come in and talk the game and get them prepared for Europe has been, a bonus for me.
Let's go back to the cyclone state. Oh no, I just said it, Noah. I just called it a cyclone state. From
Nothing
Davenport.
but the truth.
From Davenport to Ames, how did your experience growing up in the great state of Iowa get you to where you are today, Toccara?
Yeah, I had a very unique upbringing. I moved around a lot. I actually went to 4 different high schools. I just happened to land at Davenport Central. And it's kind of a full circle moment of like how I'm also able to connect with our players. I have been through enough adversity to write a book on, and that story, starts at Iowa State and this Phil Finley just giving a girl a chance. I actually went to JUCO, so I know what it's like to play in the trenches. I know what it's like to start something, build something, and be able to leave a little bit of a legacy for others. And I think that started at Kirkwood at the junior college level. And
oh, you don't got to tell me about Kirkwood. Come on now. Spent a lot of time with Kim Mule in my day.
Over there. Like if you want to grow your game, and I think people sleep on the JUCO level of how that can build your game. Everybody want to go P4, but it's like, have you done the work to get there? And I really do think, Hall of Famer Kim Mole, he really got me together and was like, hey, if you want to be something special, trust me. And I did. And then I got that same kind of that push at Iowa State. He was like, I can't promise you anything, but if you come and you work hard for me, you're gonna leave here just special. And I trusted him, and he got me through that process. And I don't think I owe my 15-year career without the mention of Kim Mole and Bill Finley and the people to wear those jerseys. And I am the coach I am today because of the backs that I got to stand on in those programs.
Shout out Kim Mole, man. One of the most legendary JUCO coaches of all time. And lucky to have worked with him. You were lucky to be coached by him. I also was lucky enough to literally live down the road from Kirkwood Community College in good old Cedar Rapids when I was working there as a reporter. So it's a great neck of the woods. My husband's probably listening to this, Coach Ross, and he's like, oh my God, all roads lead back to Iowa with Mia.
But it does. We got some good ball players in the Midwest, man.
It's the truth. And that's the thing. It's one of those things where it's contagious. The passion for basketball in that state, because there is no pro sports team, it is something that then it just becomes a part of you. Like people ask all the time, how did you get into covering women's college basketball? How did you get into becoming an AP voter for the men's side? And I say, if I was not working in Iowa when the women's basketball teams were having the success they were, but additionally, all 3 men's teams, minus Drake, which is ironic now because of how good they've been of late, went to the NCAA tournament in the same year for the first time in history. Like that's something that it's hard to be in that and then not, I think, continue to have passion for it. And I feel like that's the same way for you after you left Ames.
Yeah, I have a strong connection with that place. And even Lisa recruited me, Luder, and like, just it's hard when you're an Iowa kid and to be able to choose both, but they have really just taken me under their wing in my process of the collegiate. To this day, I can pick up the phone and call either one of them if I needed something or just to talk, which is really special when you played as long as I have and then you continue to coach. It is special, and it's a unique place to play. Women's basketball is king down there, and you're going to play again in front of 10,000 people every day.
it's one of those things where I first moved to Florida in 2018, and I said, what do you mean we don't talk about women's basketball down here? Because where I'm coming from, women's basketball leads the newscast, let alone the sportscast every single night. Enough on our Iowa love, although shout out to the OG, Lisa Bluter, one of our favorites here on Talk It Up as well. But let's move to that pro career that you had, Coach Ross, and then, of course, also a part of the idea of you go overseas because there aren't domestic opportunities. You eventually did find some domestic opportunities, even previous to the Upshot League, in terms of as your playing career goes. So looking back at that career, but then also recognizing the opportunity at hand here in the domestic United States, what does it mean that you get to have a role in this inaugural Upshot League season?
It's so special. When I was playing there was no Upshot. I got really lucky to play in the inaugural season of Athletes Unlimited, which was really cool. So I got to see firsthand what leagues like this can really do and how it can provide an opportunity. I think about my career often because as a coach, I'm trying to pull pieces from that experience as much as I can to be able to help our players, especially in our situation. We've had, again, our transition and our adversity this year. I've had to pull some key pieces to prepare them. Our mindset has had to shift. How can I prepare these players for Europe? You know, the championship has been decided in the sense of who's going. So once that was known, my mentality and how I talk to these players are very much like, let me get them prepared for Europe. Let me lean on what I went through, my vets, that experience, those 15 years, to get them as much player development as possible and to get their minds and their spirits ready for what is a very long period overseas. That is where the bulk of us make our money, our earnings. That is where the bulk of us, in my opinion, we get better overseas. I can tell a specific difference on the players, the W players who played overseas and who haven't. There's just the type of their game and how it's expanded. It really does show up when they come back and play in the league. So that's my superpower. My ability to be able to coach here has been being able to use my time as a player in those 15 years and traveling the world to get them mentally and emotionally prepared for what overseas is going to be, because it can also be the trenches.
Coach Ross, I could talk to you all day, but we are short on time. The good news is that you are bringing the Steel here to Jacksonville this upcoming Wednesday for the regular season home finale here for the Waves. Give us an idea. We'll leave you with this. Give us an idea of how you plan to carry that momentum over from that 74-72 win over Greensboro on Saturday to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena this upcoming Wednesday.
Right. So, again, Jess has done a fantastic job with that team and those players, and know a lot of them. And I'm excited for it to be a competitive game. And don't y'all count us out. I heard y'all before talking, Greensboro,
You heard me say, I want the Steel to get a win.
Y'all better put some respect on our name. No, we are gonna just work our butts off. And I believe that we have the players who are going to continue to put to show their side of their competitive edge on this team. I tell them all the time, we put ourselves on a little countdown. You have a very good opportunity to show up in your bag every day. And you can do that against a team like Jacksonville. You can do that against a team like Charlotte. How good do you want to be? And so my goal is to make sure they are 100% prepared for these last few games, and that we continue to put Upshot on the map and to show what we can do with the access of this thing. That is my goal to finish out the remainder of the season.
Coach Toccara Ross. I mean, there's no better example than you add JJ Quinterly here. There's 2 weeks to go in the season, and the championship's already decided, but she wants to play for Coach Ross, and she wants to get better after playing for the Dallas Wings the last 2 years. Coach Ross, we appreciate you taking the time. We appreciate all the banter. This has been so much fun. Can't wait to see you guys on Wednesday.
Thank you, and I appreciate all that you do and pushing the game forward. So keep talking to them about the game, girl. I appreciate you.
Hey, we talk it up, and we do say go Hawks and go Cyclones and go Panthers and go Bulldogs. We just go women's sports. Go women's sports. Go women's basketball. Simple as that. Coach Ross, we appreciate you taking the time for joining us. Oh, You're just going to really pull at my heartstrings right now. Come on, Noah. Man, oh, man. I don't know if Coach Ross, if we've taken her off the microphone or not. He's got the photo of Kirkwood Community College up right now. Listen, I used to bike past Kirkwood from my house. I lived a mile from Airport National Golf Club, if anyone who's listening even bothers knowing or knows the geography of Cedar Rapids. So many a good year in my 20s was spent in the great state of Iowa, the great city of Cedar Rapids. We appreciate Coach Ross for joining us. Hey, as she alluded to, it's not just the Upshot League and looking towards moving players over to their international phase of their careers and getting to play overseas, because we now have our second member of the Upshot League who has signed a contract with the WNBA while playing for an Upshot League team. Kristen Williams was quite literally in this studio with us a week ago today, and now she is back with the Dallas Wings. There she is. Shout out to Stuart Weber and shout out to Sahara Jones, a great photographer, for taking these wonderful candid photos of one Kristen Williams. The UConn alum is headed back to play for Dallas. She has signed a developmental deal, and of course she goes to the WNBA following Michelle Onya signing with the Indiana Fever. Let's take one more quick time out. When we come back, our game changers, all the storylines you may have missed, straight ahead here on Talk It Up.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to easily access Action News Jax Now using your Roku device. First, launch Roku. Next, use the menu list to scroll down to the search feature. Then, use the remote to enter Action News Jax into the search bar, and then click Action News Jax thumbnail. Once you see this screen, go ahead and select Add App. Wait a few seconds for it to install. Once it finishes installing, press the star button on your remote and click on Move App or Move App to the top. Finally, select the app back on your home screen to open it. Now you can watch all the great content on Action News Jax Now. Live daily breaking news.
We have breaking news happening right now in Clay County.
First alert weather and traffic.
Looks like we have a tornado warning. Let's take a look at that.
Action Sports Jax 24/7.
We've got the Brent and Austin Show daily, live sporting events, and long-form interviews you can't see anywhere else.
And shows like Law and Crime and much more. And that's how you access Action News Jax Now using your Roku device.
Nimnicht is synonymous with Jacksonville, and now in 2026, Nimnicht is celebrating 85 years of partnerships with you. Longevity equals trust, and you want a car dealership you can trust. Thousands of vehicles sold, generations of families, all part of the Nimnicht family of dealerships. My family has been part of the Nimnicht family for almost 20 of those 85 years, and I've told you about all the different vehicles that we've purchased. But it's not about the cars and the trucks. It's about the service and also the Nimnicht relationships that expand all around the community.
Congratulations to Jordan Matthews, our committed to the uncommitted player of the year.
Nobody but Nimnicht. They are there for you and your causes, your car buying experience, and they are there for you 24 hours a day at NimnichtBuickGMC.com. Experience professional grade with big inventory and even bigger savings. And Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Nobody but Nimnicht for 85 years. This milestone belongs to you, Jacksonville.
Year 2 is in the books for the Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 squad, taking another step forward in the Women's Premier Soccer League. Under the guidance of head coach David Goff, the girls in blue went undefeated at home for a second straight season, including a dramatic draw in the opener.
And they've left it to the death. Unbelievable stuff.
And a late winner to end the season at home. Headed on. Here's a chance. Gianna Ramirez brings it down, still alive, takes a shot, and into the back of the net. After fielding a younger roster in 2025 with talent from all across Northeast Florida, the future is bright for the Armada women's team. We highlight the ladies and all things Jacksonville Armada each week on Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Hey, before we go, let's shout out our friends on the south side down the road from us here at Hodges Stadium, our game changers of the week, the ladies of Sporting Jacks. The women's team picked up its first win of their second ever season on Saturday, and it was not easy, folks. Bailey DeSmit converted an 89th minute free kick for the game winner in a 1-0 narrow win on the road at Fort Lauderdale. Their season runs through Thanksgiving. The first home game of the 2026 campaign for the Sporting Jacks ladies is this Saturday at 7 p.m. against Tampa. Make sure you get out to Hodges Stadium to support women's soccer and women's sports in the 904. All right, 3 minutes to go. Let's see how many of the best storylines around the world of women's sports we can get to. I promised we were going to get to this one. I don't know if it was the best game in the W this weekend, Noah. It was certainly the biggest storyline coming out of it. Angel Reese misses a putback with 3 seconds left, and then Naz Hillman misses another putback with 0.6 on the clock as the Indiana Fever take it to OT at State Farm Center. I remember all the arenas. State Farm Center in Atlanta, and ultimately pull off the victory over the Atlanta Dream Sunday in the ATL 95-91 in overtime. It's Angel Reese, it's Caitlin Clark. You know people are going to talk about it. But the basketball itself was pretty darn good. And shout out to KK Timpson, the pride of Southwest Georgia. She's from Albany area, who was able to put up a career-high 20 points in this one in front of 40-some-odd family and friends. Shout out to KK. The Shepherd, as she calls herself. The Shepherd of Goats. It's a team full of goats. And then you have the former Florida State Seminole doing the dirty work underneath. Of course, this was not the only game in the W on Sunday. The Phoenix Mercury unfortunately fell to the Portland Fire 88-85 on Diana Taurasi Day as her number 3 was lifted into the rafters, never to be worn again by any member of the Phoenix Mercury. DT's influence, of course, goes far beyond the basketball court. We salute another game changer and pioneer in the world of women's hoops. And speaking of saluting those game changers, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremony this weekend. Candace Parker, Elena Deladon, Shamika Holdsclaw among those inducted, as was the 1996 Women's Olympic gold medal basketball team. So yes, that does mean Rebecca Lobo now gets to wear 2 maroon jackets, which is pretty neat. Candace Parker, a legend. Elena Deladon, Shamika Holdsclaw. I don't even want to effuse too much praise on one. We picked a picture of Candace just because I think she's the most recognizable for the mainstream fan of sports as the image, but all 3 incredible careers, and encourage you, if you are not familiar with any of their game, to go learn women's basketball history, because they are all 3 of them are a big part of that history. Before we get out of here, the Maryland Charm, winners of the first ever Women's Lacrosse League Championship. I know there's going to be, much like the Upshot League, more teams to come in the WLL, which had just 4 teams, just like the Upshot League in its inaugural season, and very excited to see what is to come for the ladies on the pro side in the world of lacrosse. There you go. We got it all done, Noah, before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nicely done by you on Producer Row, and we thank you for joining us here on Talk It Up on Action Sports Jacks. Same time, same place next week. The Crown, the Waves, the countdown is on to the 2026 championship game on August 29th. We'll have members of both squads hanging out with us next week on Talk It Up on Action Sports Jacks. We'll see you then.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more